Hello, everybody. Welcome on in as I wrap up my very late breakfast. We are here for the live stream, live chat about the Leo full moon, which we have today. I'm actually trying to look up the time that it goes into full moon phase. So as you guys jump in, say hello. I like to know where people are watching from. So if you feel like sharing where you are watching from, that would be great. But there is no requirements at all. Where is the calendar? My goodness. Calendar. Let's see. There we go. See if I can see when it goes into full moon phase. Leo. The 25th at 9:53 a.m. Pacific. So it's already there. It would be 12:53 Eastern in the afternoon. So we are in the Leo full moon phase. And I thought so that the lives don't go super long or very long, for the benefit of those also watching the replay and for time awareness for those that do also watch live, because on the replay, if you didn't know this, you can speed up or even slow down if you want, but you can change the speed at which the video plays. If you're watching this on the replay, there's like one of those little gears, I think somewhere in the lower right or so, depending on Facebook or YouTube where you may be watching this, and you can change the playback speed. So that is something that I do take advantage of when I am also catching replays of things. So in that vein, to keep things not so long, I'm going to give you just a very basic overview of working with the Leo full moon, just some general types of, not activities, but like the energies that are around and how this helps or how you can use this for your manifesting with the moon. And then if it gets to a point where you guys have specific questions, I always invite you to share those in the comments as you have them. And if you're watching on the replay, also share any questions or participate along on the video in the comments on the replay. And I will come back around to see, to answer or say hello and all the things. And I'm just trying to make sure I can see if there are any comments that show up. So turn that down a bit. Okay. All right. So that is, at least I should be able to see them if they pop up. So, oops, what am I doing here? Okay. So if you're new to manifesting or if you're new to working with the moon at all, the overview, the framework is we set intentions at the new moon, which we had about 2 weeks ago. It was the Capricorn new moon. And then about 2 weeks later, now we have the full moon. And this is the full moon in Leo. And with setting of intentions, the way that I work with them and talk and teach and coach you guys on is setting intentions for how you want to feel, because that can ultimately manifest in any number of ways, and it's not tied to a specific outcome. And so we set the intentions at the new moon, and then at the full moon, I like to think of it as like a trifecta. The full moon is great for forgiveness, release, and gratitude, which as we do that, it creates space, right, to bring in and call in and invite in opportunities and the things that we are manifesting by clearing out the energetic space with that trifecta, as I call them. So the new moon and full moon are always in different signs. Typically, they're if you look at the zodiac wheel, they're right across from each other. So the new moon and the full moon, or the sun, the new moon and full moon are in opposite signs if you look on the zodiac chart. last April in 2023, we had 2 new moons in Aries in March and April. So that shifted it a little bit. They're not directly across from each other. They're kind of like this, but there's still those opposing energies. So for example, a way to work with that, and that's what I cover here on the lives, is the general way, the way that everybody, all of us, the public in general, is receiving and experiencing these energies. And then if you want to dive deeper by personalizing it to your birth chart, or specifically working on a longer term intention or goal, then we can go ahead and personalize that from there. But for the purpose of these calls, I like to talk about the broad scope, the things that everybody is experiencing and can work with and tap into, and then you can personalize it. We can personalize it from there if you choose. So I'm going to show you a book that I use. It's a planner. I did not create this planner. And if anyone is interested in where they can get this, it is created by the Sisters Enchanted, and I am a community member there. I am actually a coach in their mastermind program. So we use this book. So if you are interested in getting this book, you can purchase it. Let me know in the comments and I'll put the link. Otherwise, I'm just going to use it for reference to show you what I mean. So we have the new moon in Capricorn, and we are still under that lunar cycle energy. And Capricorn is an earth energy. Hey, Kelly, I'm so glad to see you. We crossed paths on comments, but it's great to see you live. So the Capricorn new moon was good for setting intentions around career, business, achieving your ambitions. And so the Capricorn is often referred to as like the CEO of the zodiac. So you think of career and business and work, but it also can be like the CEO, the driver, right, of the company, is the visionary for the company. They have the vision of what they want the company or the corporation or the business to look like. And so they are the one also then guiding that vision with this CEO leader, get things done mentality, looking at the long vision, the long-term goals. So setting intentions at the Capricorn new moon would have been, I would have recommended setting intentions around that. How do you want to feel in your career? How do you want your business, if you are a business owner, how do you want to feel in your business? And what ambitions do you have? Career or work ambitions, or long-term goals and projects that are not going to be accomplished right away. And you know that you have to put in the work and that the payoff is coming at the end. You're doing this for the payoff, the result at the end, knowing that it might take time, it needs to build, whatever the case is. So that's what the new moon is. And I do new moon calls as well. For those of you who are newer or have not caught these videos, I do new moon calls as well, but I like to tie in that connection. So we had the Capricorn new moon 2 weeks ago, and now we have the Leo full moon. So if you've been taking action towards your intention, how you want to feel, identifying the action steps, opportunities that might come your way, you may have also, more than likely, experienced some lessons or some resistance. It's like, oh, I know I should be doing that, but I'm not. That procrastination, or people frequently refer to it as self-sabotage. Like that's the test. Like, oh, I know I should be eating healthy. I know I should be establishing, learning the things that will get me the promotion. I know that I should be doing these things, but I'm not. And so here at the full moon is when you look into that. It's like, why? What are the stories that are keeping me from taking action? Or what is this resistance from? Where, I notice that I know what I should do, but I don't do it, or I put it off. And so this is the lessons that are being brought to light for you based on the intention that you set. And so with this full moon, the full moon trifecta that I mentioned with release, forgiveness, and gratitude, you release the resistance. You release the stories that you have noticed, and you forgive whatever needs to be forgiven. That's why I include forgiveness as a regular practice and activity at the full moon, because it continually clears out the energy. And if it's something that you're working on that maybe that's a frustration or a fear or an anger or a resentment, whatever the case is, that has been a part of your life, or you've just, it's been a thing for many years, don't think that it's going to be gone and dissolved in one lunar cycle, no matter how willing you are to do the forgiveness. It's also something that needs to be repeated, and things that we heal from and experiences with people or interactions, we may forgive them and we feel good about it, and then something down the line might bring that issue back to light again, or it is brought up in a different light and we're like, oh man, I thought I was past that. Why is it coming up again? It's because it's being brought up in another aspect or from another perspective and the next layer of the lessons that you are learning, right? So we forgive, release, and then when we clear out that energetic space, we fill it with gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons that we've learned, gratitude for the insight, gratitude for even realizing that resistance that we had and where it comes from. So if this is something that is new to you, this may sound kind of like, I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. Let me know that, because there are people here who have been working with the moon for a long time, and there are people here who are new. Yes, forgiveness at the full moon. It's such a great thing, and it doesn't have to be anything, like that takes up a lot of time. Like my favorite, you'll hear me reference astrology and zodiacs because it's tied into working with the moon and manifesting for me. But you don't need to be an astrologer, because I have taken astrology courses and I've gotten certified, but I'm not like a professional astrologer in that aspect. But looking at how this all works, I like fiery things because I'm a fire sign. That's where I was going with that. I'm an Aries. I'm a fire sign. So I like to write out my forgiveness list and burn it, right? Burn it. It's like, send it off, send the smoke and the energy off, and the things that you release as well. So forgiveness doesn't have to be a big, long, drawn out ordeal. It can be as simple as writing a list, and you can either rip it up if you're not into like burning it, rip it up and shred it, rip it up and bury the pieces, the shreds of paper in the ground, in a potted plant, in the dirt, and let it break down. And that will then nourish the soil and, fortify the soil. So it is transmuted by you putting the energy into releasing it and forgiving the things that need to be released. So now working with this lunar cycle, we set intentions for whatever. And if you didn't, that's okay. You can jump in at the lunar, work with the lunar cycle at any time. It is a cycle. You don't have to be, bye, Dad. Okay. Live video. My dad just waved as he walked by. You don't have to be setting intentions. You can jump in at any point of the cycle, the lunar cycle. So with Leo full moon, Leo is the lion. So it's just this big, bold, fun, energetic feeling, like, full of energy. But they also think of lions. They have their downtime, right? They like to rest and nap and lay in the sun, right? So all of this is incorporated in Leo. So with release the things that you have noticed from setting your intention, or just that you happen to become aware of. Release the things that block your confidence and that stand in the way of your self-esteem. Because think of that lion pride, right? Like that lion confidence. That's what we want to embody. That's what the the goal is. That's what the positive energy and the positive archetype with Leo is: confidence and being in the spotlight, being that leader. So you see how if you set an intention that had to do with career or with your business or your ambitions, and you've been taking action or even researching the actions to take, you might notice this resistance where you don't feel confident to go for that promotion. Or maybe you don't feel confident to start your business. You don't feel ready yet, right? You notice that you don't have, yourself. These are things you might be realizing. And so as you realize them, then you release the stories that go along with them, that come to light, and you rewrite them, and you forgive the experiences. You forgive yourself. So you can forgive yourself. You can forgive people involved in whatever the circumstance or the event was. You can forgive people, yourself, experiences, feelings, anything that is not helpful and that doesn't move you in the direction of your goals and your ambitions. And so by following this cycle, setting intentions, this is a very broad stroke: setting intentions, taking action, noticing the resistance, releasing it and forgiving it and being grateful. And then as the moon moves back to the next new moon, you're like, what can it look like? What can my life look like now that I've learned these lessons? How can I imagine a new way forward or a new way of being? And then to draw it down even more, it's like, how can I show up more as the person who has already achieved my dreams? How can I show up as the person who is already experiencing all the things that I have on my vision board? And that's my neighbor's dog saying hello. How can I show up as that person? And so that's the cycle: setting intentions. How do I want to feel? Taking actions that support how you want to feel, releasing and getting the insight, the knowledge, and the aha moments. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is where that comes from. Then imagining a new way forward. And as I was doing this, I was pointing at the quarters of the moon. So if you look at a diagram, the new moon is at the top, and it might be reversed to you, but the first quarter moon would be at the 3 o'clock point on the clock, then the full moon at the 6 o'clock point, and the third quarter moon at the 9 o'clock point. So that's kind of where I'm referencing as I point around this imaginary clock on the screen. So working with the 4 quarters of the moon is really a beautiful framework. There are 9 moon phases altogether, and we can get into the intricacies of that. And I will talk about them in other lives, in classes and workshops. But these monthly new moon and full moon calls, these lives, I kind of drilled down since the beginning of the year and a little bit before. I have been looking at all the things I do, and it's like, do I want to keep it or do I want to let it go? Is it not serving a purpose? And I checked in with you guys earlier in the year. I shared a poll that's actually still pinned at the top in the featured section, asking what things from this group you enjoyed. And I said that you wanted to keep the new moon calls, the full moon calls, and then the free monthly activity or class or whatever the case is. And you guys, responses were to keep all 3 of them, but the highest one was the monthly class or challenge, the free event, and then the new moon and full moon calls did get votes, but not as high. And so that's where I'm looking at drilling down and like streamlining it and keeping it very basic instead of doing like I was doing before, like trying to dive into all the aspects. And that's the beauty of the lunar cycle, because there's so many traits. There's so many focuses, several focuses for each zodiac sign. So, this year, right now, in this moment, I'm talking about the Leo full moon and how you can release the blocks to your confidence, the blocks to your self-esteem. And next Leo new moon, I'll probably talk about something different, or there'll be another focus, because we change and the skies change. They're not the exact same, even though we go through the zodiac sign just like a calendar. It goes in a cycle. So that's where I'm at. I am drilling down to the basics and looking to keep it under 30 minutes, which we're about 6 minutes from the 30-minute mark. So with that being said, I hopscotched around a little bit today because I wanted to touch on the main parts and also like explain how I'm drilling down and keeping it to the basics. So moving forward, I will have a more streamlined structure for these calls. I did just jump around a little bit today because there were several things, different aspects I wanted to talk to you guys about. And I will show you, unless questions come up, I'm going to finish off by showing you this planner that I use. Like I said, I didn't create this, but you can purchase it if you want. It is a lunar planner, and it does not follow the calendar system, if you will. It does not follow the standard January, February, March calendar system. It follows the lunar cycle. So the beginning of where's Capricorn? That's where we were. So the new moon in Capricorn cycle, it has a set of calendar pages, but it started on January 11th, which is where the new moon was. January 11th, and it goes through to the next. That's the calendar system, if you will. So it doesn't start on January 1. It starts on day 1 of the new moon, and it follows the lunar cycle. Now, if you're someone that likes to track things, it also has a lunar tracker where you can track anything that you like. You can track your emotions. You can track activities and actions that you take. You can track your mood, your energy. You can track, your menstrual cycle, whatever that it is, you can track it with the lunar tracker. It has a space for every single lunar cycle for goals that you want to set, barriers and actions, and I obviously have not filled it all in, and a habit tracker for every single lunar cycle. And I don't use this as a calendar. I use it more of like a journal type thing, but it has a place where you can do a card spread if you are someone who pulls cards. If not, you can use the prompts as journal prompts, writing prompts, or you can pull cards. And then I put a picture of my cards and just kind of some insights. It gives you the focuses that I was just sharing with you, like the focus for that energy, and even herbs and crystals that you can incorporate in your work with the lunar cycle. So I don't teach these things, but I do incorporate them in the things that I do. And then this is what the planner pages look like. So you could write affirmations, you could write your intentions, you could write if you pull a card a day, you can put that all in there. And then one of my favorite parts is at the end of each lunar cycle, it has a vision space, which would be like a vision board area, like a dream, like as you dream for the next new moon, you could put that, create a vision board there. And so that's what I use and what I talk about, because I since I'm streamlining, I don't want to have multiple planners and multiple, things for the same topic, basically. So if anyone, and even on the replay, if you're interested in learning how to get that, just let me know. Otherwise, just know that's what I'm pulling from. And it's not something that I created. So I'm just sharing that. If you want it, you can obviously do all of this stuff without. You can make your own planners. You might have your own different lunar planner that you enjoy. So I think that's it. And looking. So if you want to learn more about this is a great place to be. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or here in the Moon Manifesting Rockstars Facebook group, I do a new moon and a full moon live every single month, talking about the energies of the zodiac, setting intentions, manifesting with the moon, and becoming that version of yourself. If you want to learn more about my experiences with the lunar cycle, I also have a podcast. It's the Rockstar Manifestors podcast. And every lunar cycle, I am sharing an episode called Lunar Lessons. And that's where I go more in depth and more in detail as to the intentions that I set, the resistance, and the lessons that I learn each lunar cycle. And so I share that on a podcast episode. And then every month there is a free activity or class or challenge. It's housed in the Facebook group. However, for those of you who are not on Facebook and choose not to be, there's also ways for you to attend those on Zoom. So each class is different and at different days of the month. And so the best way to learn about the dates and how to register if you're off of Facebook is to be on my email list. And I have to do this while we're live. Otherwise it doesn't show up in the comments. I'm going to put my link on how to get on my email list. And that is the best way. There we go. To know how to register and when things are happening. And with this link, if it would copy, there we go. With this link, you will get my Manifesting Songs playlist. Get on my email list. And my Manifesting Songs playlist is a playlist that I created. It's on Spotify, so it will take you straight to Spotify. And it is full of songs that I feel, help support this energy and feeling that anything is possible. It just lifts your spirits. It gets you moving, both physically. You can dance, take it on a walk with you, or you can let it inspire you to take action. And I'm trying to find the place to put this link in the Facebook group. Because Facebook is funny and it does not let me post through StreamYard in the group. There we go. All right. So here is, Spotify is great, Kelly. So here's the link. Let me put that here. Get on my email list and get my playlist. All right, now it should be visible to everybody. I have to do that in 2 separate places. So yes, that is all I have. I'm 1 minute over the 30-minute mark, but I was trying to navigate all the new things. If you guys have questions that come up, come back to the comments and share in the comments, and I will be more than happy to answer. And if there's topics that you want me to talk about specifically with manifesting with the moon, let me know that as well. And I can tailor the lives to those topics. So today is the full moon. We're in Leo full moon energy now. And I wish you all a happy full moon. You can do a forgiveness list. We're in full moon energy for about 3 days. So release that resistance, release the things that block your confidence and your self-esteem, and create that space to step into your best self and be grateful for all of the experiences. So thank you, Kelly. Happy full moon to you guys as well. And I will talk to you soon. I'll see you in the group. Take care, guys.